particularly male reaction to stress is men tend to hide in their caves a lot more than women do. Don't get enough sleep, imbalance, mental imbalance, going over things. I'm just reading out the chat here. Anxiety, headache, short-tempered, moodiness. Gosh, okay, some really extreme ones there. Tightness at the back of the neck. Yeah, that's a very common one. Very common one. Headaches, tightness on shoulders, tightness in the neck, getting more hungry. Getting more hungry and eating a lot. Yes, okay. Can't sleep, can't concentrate, explosiveness. All of these are very typical reactions to stress. And that's because what happens when you stress is your body produces stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. And then what happens is your body becomes flooded with these stress hormones and they have nowhere to go. They have no escape. So what happens is that they tighten up your muscles, they raise your heart rate, they get the blood pumping around your system more quickly, and that can then lead to other issues. It leads to other problems. So here are some of the issues. We're not going to dwell too long on the biological impact of stress, but here are some of the symptoms. Increased cholesterol. Immune system and allergic responses are affected. Higher blood pressure. Increased metabolism. Now, obviously, this is stress over a period of time. Faster heartbeat, breathing more quickly, faster respiration. Localized inflammation. So what you may get is you may get people who are breathing more quickly, and therefore everything is happening at a much more advanced level in their bodies. So they're getting swelling, they're getting pain, their heart rate is raised, their blood pressure is raised, and so on. And eventually that might lead to more blood clotting, increased blood sugar production, increased stomach acids, which is where you get the indigestion problems. And as a result of all that, you might have your relationships affected because, you know, you've got the moodiness, you've got the lack of sleep. So your general health might deteriorate. And again, this is over a period of time. This is not just a couple of weeks or a couple of months of stress. And of course, your quality of life suffers, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So we need to be able to address it. So what do you think are some of the underlying causes of stress? And don't just put COVID. We want to really drill down and think about what one of the underlying causes of stress is. So if I share mine with you, one of my underlying stress causes is not being able to control the outcome. If I feel I can't do anything about what's happening, I tend to feel quite stressed. Yeah, and that might be a similar situation for many of you. Okay. Good morning, Agoma. Nice to have you on board. Finances, yes. Ayopo was going to say the same thing. Yeah, I think it's quite common, that feeling of not being in control. Managing time, poverty, yes, financial impact can be a cause of stress. Depression, lack of money, quarrels between families, yeah, the workplace. Fear of being negatively affected by events. Now, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because often fear itself can create stress. The fear of, for example, getting ill can be worse than actually feeling ill. I'm not talking about COVID here. I'm talking about having a cold, for example, or having a headache. The fear of going to the dentist is often worse than being at the dentist. You get there and you think, well, that was okay. But the fear is quite stressful. So fear of failure, having lots of responsibilities, financial and health issues, yeah, all of those things are very common underlying causes. Okay. So to summarize, overwhelm. Having too much to do in the time you've got available. Now, look, we all have 24 hours in a day. Not expecting you to work 24 hours. I wouldn't even expect you to work 12, to be honest. But if you have too much to do and too little time to do it, unless you're going to invent a time machine, You need to make sure that you manage your time effectively to fit the time that you've got available. Don't try to do 26 hours of work in 9 hours. It's just not feasible. So recognizing that is quite a good stress reliever. And people come to me in coaching and they go, do you know what? I've realized that actually my expectations of myself were unrealistic. Do you have unrealistic expectations of yourself? Because if you do, there's only you that can change that. Feeling a lack of control over your own situation, feeling like a victim. That's a massive, massive issue. So feeling that you can't control your own situation, your own circumstances, your own destiny, feeling that things are being done to you rather than you being in control of the things that you're doing. And finally, lack of resources, lack of experience, lack of knowledge to deal with the situation. Because basically in the pandemic, something different and new is happening to us. And we don't know what to do because we've not been there before. So you haven't got a blueprint of activities. You can't say, oh, well, I've been in a pandemic before and I know exactly what to do. Here's my plan. Because it hasn't happened before. If it happens again, you will have a plan, but let's hope it doesn't. Therefore, we feel uncomfortable and we feel threatened. And if you feel any of those things, then you are normal. You are absolutely normal. So let's have a look at a model now for dealing with it. Who can spot the pattern in this model? Very quickly, write it into chat if you can spot a really simple pattern in this model. First person to get there wins a holiday. I'm only joking about the holiday. Who can spot a pattern in the words of this model? Got attitude, behavior, consequence. See who can spot a pattern. I've got 5 people typing. I always seem to have 5 people typing. Attitude, behavior, consequence. ABC. Yes, thank you. So Inda Guessett, you've won the car. Well done. ABC. You were the first person. Attitude, behavior, consequence. So what does that mean? Let's have a look. Very simply, what it means is that what we think, our own inner dialogue, affects what we do. And as a result of what we do, there will be a consequence. And I'm going to use an example of a friend and neighbour of mine called Linda. She absolutely doesn't mind. Well, I'm sure she wouldn't anyway. During the pandemic, Linda lost a lot of work. She was self-employed and she was in a job that was badly affected by the pandemic. So her income went from there to 0 overnight, literally overnight. Now, Linda's husband works, but due to health issues, he only works part-time. He was still working, but he was only earning part-time money. And they have a family. So Linda went, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? My income's gone from there to there overnight. I don't know what to do. She really went into panic mode, as you would expect. Now, as a result of Linda going, oh, her brain froze. She went into panic mode. What did she do? Well, I'll tell you what she did. By her own admission, she sat on the sofa and ate lots of ice cream to console herself. She cried. She ranted. She ate too much. She became very negative. And as a consequence of that, it was a vicious circle. As a consequence of that, she felt worse. So she felt worse about herself. She was putting weight on because of all the ice cream. She wasn't happy about that. So she went, I'll never find another job. It's terrible. Then she said to me, one day I just got bored with myself. I thought, what are you doing? Sitting on the sofa eating ice cream is not going to help. So she started to make a plan. She started to make a list and she spoke to people that she knew and she said to them, what do you think I'm good at? And she spoke to me and she said, what am I good at? And I said, well, what do you like doing? She said, well, the only thing I really like doing is gardening. Aha, light bulb moment. Linda made a plan. Her attitude became a lot more positive because she was thinking about something that she was good at, gardening, something that she liked doing, improving people's gardens, something she could do outside that wasn't affected by social distancing. Linda started with one customer, me. She lives down the road. When Linda did my garden and I paid her for it, 3 other people stopped her on that day and asked her if they would also do her garden. As a consequence, Linda was motivated. So that goal became really, really motivational. It became a lot more productive, and her attitude then became positive. So apart from the fact that she didn't have any tools and she had to go scrounging tools, she had everything she needed. Linda now is a gardener. 3 weeks it took her. She's got 10 clients. She's taken control of her own destiny. So my question to you is, what can you take control of right now that will make you feel better? What can you control right now that will be a good positive goal and that will make you feel less stressed? Linda couldn't control the pandemic. She couldn't control the financial impact, but she could control her own attitude and her own behavior. So please write into chat one thing that you feel you can take control of right now that will reduce your stress. Let's see what we've got. Samuel's saying routine exercise. Absolutely. That is a massive thing. Christopher's going to control time spent at his desk. Please do, Christopher. Please do that. Don't let other people control your time. You place a value on it and then it becomes valuable. My time, yes, absolutely, good. My expectations, yes, don't expect perfection. No one else does. Why do we expect ourselves to be perfect? Taking time off once in a while, yes. You can control your emotions and your reactions. Absolutely, you can. You can. We're going to have a look at that. Emotion, time, managing priorities. Yes, good. All of those things really important. Okay, let's think about our mindset. Everything starts with a thought. What does that mean? The laptop you're using to join today, the phone you're using, the chair you're sitting on, all of those things started with a thought. Everything starts here, A, B, C. So your mindset is the thoughts that you have and the actions you take from those thoughts. Now, if your mindset is positive, your behavior and your actions and the consequences will be positive. If your mindset is negative, and like Linda, initially you just sat on the sofa and ate ice cream and did nothing, if you do nothing, nothing will happen. If you do something, then something at least will happen and you'll feel like you're a master or a mistress of your own destiny. So we all have this inner dialogue. We all have these thoughts going on in our heads. See if you can identify what they're saying. Are they saying, oh, you're no good, you've tried that before and it didn't work, so there's no reason why it would work now? Oh, you're really stupid. Or is your inner dialogue saying, you're doing your best, well done, you're resilient, and well done, you can bounce back from this, you've got a goal, you've got a plan? If your inner dialogue looks like this, what's going on up here, you need to change it. Take out the CD or the SD card, depending on your age there. Take out the SD card, take out the program, reprogram it, put something positive in, because it all starts with what you say to yourself. It absolutely starts with what you say to yourself. If you tell yourself you're no good, everything follows. And what you'll do won't be any good. So whether you think you can or you can't, you're probably right. That's not new. I stole that from Henry Ford. But it's true, isn't it? Whether you think you can or you can't, you're probably right. So let's have a look at managing our mindset. Something for you to do now. Which of the following statements do you agree with? And you can agree with all of them, or you can agree with one of them or two of them. So statement A is you cannot change your thoughts or feelings. Statement B, when you are stressed, it's hard to take positive actions. And C is the first step to dealing with stress is to identify the causes. So some people have said B and C. Some people have said C, B and C. Nobody said A yet. B and C, B and C. Yeah. Okay. You cannot change your thoughts and feelings. Of course you can. Sometimes it's hard, but you absolutely can, because you're in control of your brain. Nobody else is in control of it. B, when you are stressed, it's hard to take positive actions. I would say that's probably true for most people. Stress operates differently in different people. But for most of us, I think it is hard to take positive actions when you are feeling stressed, because you're in that stressful mindset. So try and step outside it. Look outside and go, if I was offering advice to someone else, to a friend or a family member, what might I tell them to do? Well, I might advise them to get off the sofa, stop eating ice cream, and take positive action. That might be what I advise them to do. And C, the first step to dealing with stress is to identify the causes. I do think it's quite helpful to identify your stress triggers. For example, if you don't get enough sleep, that might be a quick route to stress for you. So you might identify that as a stress trigger. Perhaps relying too much on alcohol, cigarettes might be a stress trigger. One thing we haven't spoken about, which the pandemic has really exacerbated, is feelings of isolation. You know, a lot of us were on lockdown and not allowed to see our loved ones, not allowed to see our family members. And for some people, they weren't allowed to see their children or grandchildren. Isolation has been a massive trigger for stress for some people. So if you're on your own for too long, is that a stress trigger for you? Yeah. So identify what your stress triggers are. Now, action again. What actions would you take in the following scenario? You're in a stressful situation, but you have the opportunity to affect the cause of the stress. What would you do? Really break it down into steps. What would you do? What's the first step you would take? Where would you go from there? So you're in a stressful situation, but you do have the opportunity to affect the cause of the stress. Write down what you would do. We've said identify what the stress is. Somebody said, yeah, just waiting for some more responses there. So you're in a stressful situation, but you're thinking, actually, I can control the outcome here, but what's the first step you would take? Deal with it. Well, that sounds very, very simple, Samuel. It sounds very straightforward. Be mindful about the stressor, yes. Deal with the cause by thinking about how to remove the cause. Yeah, make a plan is a good idea. Identify, plan, then execute. Marvelous. Thank you, Mustafa. That's very, very logical. Take a moment to breathe. Oh, I love that. When we're stressed, what happens is we hold our breath. We do chest breathing instead of breathing from our core. If anybody's ever done Pilates or yoga, you will know that lower body breathing, I'm rubbing my ribs here, core breathing is so much deeper than stressful chest breathing. So don't let your breaths come from high up. Breathe much lower down, because that will help you. Take a deep breath, take a break, try to relax and deal with it later. That's great advice. I love that. Yeah, because not everything has to be dealt with right now. And sometimes our instinctive reaction is perhaps not the best reaction that we could have. Here are some ideas. Firstly, speak to other people. Now, it might be that they don't have the solution. Maybe they don't have an answer. But offloading often helps you to get a different perspective on your stressful situation and just to feel better, because what you've done is you've been carrying the stress here. By offloading and sharing with someone else, you've been able to make it go. You've been able to lighten the load a bit. So speaking to other people can be really helpful, even if you think they can't solve the problem. Secondly, as Mustafa said, make a plan. And thirdly, take one positive action. So making a plan is about making a goal, really, because goals are motivating. And when we are motivated, we are much less stressed. So my friend Linda made a plan. She planned to do one garden. That was mine. That was her plan. And that motivated her. So she was taking positive action after that to start a business. And it's worked. It's worked well. Second scenario. What actions would you take in this scenario? You're in a stressful situation, but this time you have no power or control to affect the cause of the stress. So write into chat, what actions do you think you would take here? What are you going to do? So you've got no control, something's stressing you out, but you can't do anything about it. What would you do? So someone said, remove yourself from the stressor. Yes, if you can, that would be a good thing to do, even if only temporarily. Manage your response. Easy, just let it go. Well, if it were easy, it would be a much calmer world. But yes, decide to let it go. So if you're in a traffic jam, you can't make the cars go quicker by shouting at people. You probably already realised that. So you can either stress yourself out more, or you can go, do you know what? I'm just going to listen to music, or I'm going to run through and rehearse my next meeting with my manager or my team members in my head. I'm going to use the time productively. So someone said, check your emotions, be in control of it, respond positively. Yeah, you choose. You're in that traffic jam. You can't control the other cars. Can't make them go quicker by shouting. Choose calm. Choose calm. Because then if you do, your brain becomes a lot more creative and a lot less reactive. Adapt, someone said, and when you get the chance, control it. Yes, flexibility is a great asset with stress. Be flexible, meditate. Love that one. We're going to look at that a bit later. Be yourself, be calm. Yes, absolutely. Choose calm. So here are some thoughts. Firstly, when you're in a stressful situation, listen to your inner voice. What is your default setting? What are your thoughts doing or saying? Are they positive or are they negative? When you're in that traffic jam or you're on that train and it's stopped in the middle of nowhere, you can't control the train driver or the traffic. What are your thoughts doing? Are they going, oh no, this is terrible? Or are they going, it is what it is, I'm going to choose calm? If it's a negative mindset, you can then change it. So change your self-talk and think about 3 things you can do that will support you in moving towards your goal. So if I'm on a train and it's stuck in the middle of nowhere, I might go, oh, my thoughts are really negative. I need to change them. I need to change them into, well, the train stopped, can't do anything about it. Let's make the most of this gift of time. Thirdly, 3 actions that will help me to be more positive. Okay, I'm going to have a chat with the person next to me. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the person I'm meant to be seeing and perhaps do the meeting on the phone. Then I'm going to arrange my diary for the rest of the month. So I'm going to do 3 things to make me feel more positive. Someone said there, Luke, give thanks for all your blessings. Absolutely. An attitude of gratitude. I love that. have an attitude of gratitude. It just helps you to be less stressed, more calm, and more in control of what's going on. So let's have some of your tips. We've already had a few. We've had meditate, we've had exercise. What else? What do you do to alleviate stress in your life? Or what do you wish you could do? What would you like to do? Write into chat, please, your top tips for alleviating and reducing stress. Laughter, massive. That is a massive one. I love that, Wasim. Thank you. Humor. It's a therapy. It absolutely is. Sing. Thank you, Evanitsa. Singing is a massive therapy. I am very biased because I am a singer as well. I'm in a choir and I find it so therapeutic just to sing in the kitchen. I can't say the same for the rest of my family, but I enjoy it. Get busy. Pray, absolutely. A chess game, yes, something that diverts your attention away from your stress and gets you completely immersed in something else. Binge watch Netflix. I know it's trivial, but I do it and it helps. It's not trivial if it helps, because what it does is it immerses your brain in something other than all of that loud chatter that's going on. Read, music, go fishing, cook your family's favorite food. Yes, cooking, fishing, all of that's really therapeutic. Watch your webinars. Thank you, Wasim. Thank God for this moment. So that's that attitude of gratitude. Visit other family members, yes, if you can. Take a walk, watch a comedy movie. Yes, so we've gone on to humor again. Think of the positive things in your life. Absolutely. Do more of the things that you enjoy. Here are some more top tips, some of which we have said. Firstly, control your time. That might mean saying, no, I can't do that. I don't have time. I've got other priorities. It might mean saying, yes, I can do it, but I can't do it now. I'll do it later. Or it might mean saying, have you spoken to Fred? Because I think Fred would be in a better position to do it. It might mean delegating. Secondly, do something. If you do nothing, nothing will happen. Do something. Take positive action. Just one little step. Get out of bed. Make your bed. Cook a meal. Have a shower. Do something that makes you work towards a goal. Now, thirdly, do more of what you enjoy doing. Somebody said to me on a training course a few months ago before lockdown, what are your hobbies, Colette? I said, I enjoy singing and I enjoy tap dancing. For those of you that may not know or need a translation, tap dancing is dancing that makes a noise like that with taps on the bottom of your shoes, hard shoes. And I love doing that. It's fun. And it's social. It's in a group. And she said, oh, that's lovely. I'd love to learn how to do that. So I said, well, why don't you then? And she went, yeah, I could, couldn't I? Yes, you could. So instead of going, oh, I'd love to sing, or I'd love to go for a walk, or I'd love to get fit, or I'd love to learn to cook or play tennis or whatever, do it. Do more of what you enjoy doing. After this webinar, here's a little exercise for you. Work out what percentage of your week you spend doing what you enjoy doing, as opposed to doing all the chores that you have to do. And if work is something that you enjoy doing and it falls into the first category, that's fantastic, because you probably spend 80% of your time doing what you enjoy doing. Because do you know what? If you are doing something that you're not enjoying, only you can change that. Number 4, regular exercise. Whatever is good for you, whatever you want to do. Spending time in nature, spending time outside connects you with the wider universe. It connects you with the bigger picture and makes you realize that there are bigger things than just us in this world. Look after yourself. So ice cream is great, but in moderation. This makes me sound very anti-ice cream, this webinar. I do love ice cream, but you know, you can't sit and binge on chocolate and crisps all day. Blessing, yes, you can. Blessing said he's having serious network challenges. Absolutely, this will be recorded. You will be able to watch the whole thing over and over again. You can binge watch this webinar. Absolutely, please do. I'm sorry you're having network problems, but we can't change the network problems, so let's not be stressed. So looking after yourself, good diet, and we all know what a good diet is. Everything in moderation. Sleep well. Getting enough sleep helps you to stay fit. It helps you to stay healthy. And number 8, using your support structure. Somebody said, Yopo has said that number 5 resonates. Yes, I love number 5. Number 5 is fantastic. And nature, you don't have to have an enormous forest on your doorstep. You don't have to walk in the woods. You just have to find some trees. If you live in a busy city, there will be a park. Go and sit in a park. My daughter works in London. She lives in a flat above a butcher's shop on a busy main road. So at lunchtime, she takes 5 minutes walk and she goes to the park. And she sits in the park and eats her lunch and she breathes, and it resets her brain, recharges her batteries, reconnects with her inner calm, and then she goes back to the main road and the busy flat where she does most of her work from. Number 8, use your support structure. There will be people in your life who are supportive of you, but they can't support you unless you let them. So please don't withdraw into your cave and keep everything to yourself. The people in your life who love you won't thank you for that. Share your stresses, share your concerns, because they are there to help you. So use your support structure, whoever they are. Okay, so out of those things, please write into chat any of them that resonate most with you. We've already had one person said number 5 resonates mostly with them. So please write your favourite number into chat now, please. Which is your favourite? Which do you think you might do more of? Number 4, regular exercise. Yeah, you don't have to go to the gym for 3 hours every day. Just take a walk. Take a walk once a week. Sometimes you can combine them. You can do more of what you enjoy doing, which is exercise, which is in nature, which is with your support structure. You could do 4 in 1. Yay! See if you can combine some of them. 1 and 4, fantastic. 5 and 8, yes. Using your support structure. 2, 3, 5 and 8, all at the same time. You could do all of them all at once. That would be fantastic. Okay, brilliant. Well, I hope you've got some ideas from that. And we're coming to the end of our webinar here now. So thinking about taking control. What can you do to control your stress? Share one thing that you're going to do to manage stress in your life from now on, please. Just write into chat one specific thing you will do as a result of this webinar today to manage stress in your life from now on. Stop procrastinating. Yes, do it. Do it now. Go for it. Think positively. Dedicate special time to myself. Good. Taking charge of your emotions. Yes, please. You're in charge of this brain. Nobody else. Go for a walk first thing in the morning. Fantastic. Sets you up for the day. Breathe. Breathing is good. Keeps you alive. Sets you up for the day. Take each day as it comes. Yes, you can't control everything. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Love that one. Change your bad thoughts. Yes, positive mindset. Free up your mindset. Positive thinking and consult others. Some brilliant ones there. Sing your favourite song. Sadly, we don't have audio on this because otherwise I would encourage you to share with us what your favourite song is here today. And there is lots of positive music that you could have. I actually would like to share with you something that I love, a piece of favourite music, which is Vivaldi. Vivaldi's, just trying to get that now, Vivaldi's Four Seasons, which is beautiful. I'll see if I can share that with you now. Oh, I thought I could share it. It's not playing. Oh, it is playing. Can you hear that? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a really lovely piece of music. And, you know, everybody's got different tastes in music. I like uplifting music that doesn't stress you out. So whilst Vivaldi's playing to us, a couple of things to share with you as well. The Little Book of Calm. These are great, these little books. Don't worry, I didn't write this and I'm not on commission. But any little book that you can dip into that gives you tips. This one's also great. Stephen Covey's Habits of Highly Effective People. He talks about moving into your area of control, your area of influence, rather than your area of stress. So any self-help books that help you. Oh, somebody there, Luke already has it. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Finally, a few thoughts from my cat, Jasmine. I think we should all be a bit more cat at times. I've never seen her stressed, ever. This is my cat, Jasmine. So I'd just like to say at the end of the webinar now, thank you so much for your input today. It's been a pleasure to meet you all. I wish I could meet you all in person. And wishing you all a calm, stress-free and happy life. So thank you so much. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Oh, your best webinar so far. Thank you so much. Do tune in to some of our others. We've got lots of webinars available. And I hope to meet you all again at some point. Thank you. Thank you so much. Pleasure to meet you too, Mustafa. Thank you. What lovely comments in chat. So I'm going to end it now. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And see you again. Bye-bye. Bye.